Uh, Hello everyone, my name is Borys Kosmynka, and together with Ania Wieluńska and Mateusz Machalski, we're here today to tell you a little bit about the Typoteka, the Index of Polish Typefaces project. The research for the project took about 3 years to complete before we even started putting the archive together. The aim of the website is to bring the Polish typographic legacy to a broader audience and to showcase and display Polish typefaces.
So, we were passionate students, fascinated in German, French, and also Netherlands or Great Britain typefaces. But in the same time, we thought that Poland was kind of typography black hole for many years. And during our studies, we were spending a lot of time in love with the analog printing techniques, and also spending a lot of time in typesetting room at Academy of Fine Arts. We played a lot with wood types and trying to make digital wood types to use them in posters, visual identities, and other projects.
So, to give you a little bit of the context of what made us start the Typoteka, as Mateusz said, we were at this early moment in our careers studying. We were fascinated with the Western typography, and so you can be in our shoes for a moment. We have to take a step before Typoteka and talk a little bit of our digitization projects. So there's a few ways that we approached them, but we managed to work independently or together, and we're going to talk a little bit about that now.
Yeah, so as Borys said, there is many different ways of digitalizations of typefaces. Probably the best way is to work with the living author. Of course, it's not always possible to work with the author of all typeface, but for example, in 2016 and 17, I've been working with a very famous graphic designer Andrzej Heydrich on revival project of his Bona typeface that designed in 1971. We don't really like to create only digital version of this typeface. We'd like to extend it by adding some new styles like upright and bold. So we did large research on his works to find this kind of visual language in his projects like book covers, banknotes, or even coat of Polish arms. So we've been meeting twice a week discussing the progress of work, and finally published this typeface on Google Fonts and extended it by Arabic, Hebrew, Cyrillic, and Greek script. And after all, we decided to organize huge launch party in old bank building in Warsaw. It was really nice because we invited our students, our professors, good friends, families, and also friends of Andrzej Heydrich. So it was really nice meeting of different generation of graphic designers in Warsaw.
How many people were there in the meeting?
1,000.
1,000 people premiering Polish typeface.
just for the launching of the font.
Yeah. So the second approach that we had a chance on working together on was Brigada typeface, and we call it type archaeology. The Brigada typeface we didn't have the author. We had very, very little information on it. We couldn't even find any printed examples of the typeface. We based the digitization on the matrices that we found in the Book Arts Museum of Łódź. I had a chance to present the typographic legacy of the Book Arts Museum in Montreal a few years ago, so maybe some of you had a chance to see it. So here we try the approach of making the shapes as close to the original as possible, trying to not change the contrast, not change the proportions too much, not fiddle with the typeface, just stick to the matrices as closely as possible. The typeface was funded by the Polish government and premiered at the presidential palace in Poland with the Polish president, as evidenced in this photo. It's real. And
It's not a wax figure.
No. And he actually had a button made for the occasion to launch the typeface as the
Release the Kraken.
as the Polish independence typeface to commemorate 100 years of Polish independence. Brigada from the small character set that was available was extended with multiple characters in Latin and also with Cyrillic, Greek and IPA, and is also available in Google Fonts. Thanks, Dave.
So the third category that we came up with is called modern archaeology, and for the purpose of this one, actually, I'm going to show you the work that I started during my studies that was a part of my graduation piece. And here, the source for the digitization was the very first Polish typeface made especially for the purpose of developing new Polish diacritical marks and new Polish characters. So as you can see, I've made 4 different styles based on the original scans that I've managed to have. That was the only source that I had. It was made in a very, very small booklet from the 16th century, so the quality is, as you can see, not very good. So I had to come up with a lot of my original ideas about the details, about the contrast, shapes, etc. So here you can see the final product, and here is the comparison between the original print and the one set with my typefaces. Another one that we have for you is what we call remix, and here we have a font, a typeface named Antykwa Półtawskiego that was probably for some 80 years a typeface that was considered to be the Polish national typeface. It was made by Adam Półtawski just after regaining the independence in Poland. And remix, why remix? Because as you can see, we already do have 4 different digitization before we came up with our one. And as for the source material, we had a very good quality sketches that the original author provided to the monotype for the purpose of casting his typeface. But we felt like we just need to somehow just take the vibe and maybe do it in a modern way, change the details, change the contrast a bit, just make it to our liking. Here you can see an interesting example. This is one of the early versions made by the guys from the Gust Group. This is made by Tech, which is probably I mean, the most simple way to describe it is very advanced tracing tool. And here you have a final product which is available at Google Fonts as well since one week, I guess.
Yeah. So in opposition to all of those totally serious projects, we also work with some totally crazy letters like Ping Pong. This typeface was designed in 1974 by Elżbieta Krużyńska. It looks like totally funky typeface, but it was totally challenging to create the OTF version of those letters because we'd like to take control how many dots will be in those raster gradients. And thanks to Professor Werk from Academy of Fine Arts, who is really good in processing softwares, he created for us software to take control on those gradients. And then, thanks to Adam Twardoch, we export those thousands of Beziers into OTF file. So why we did all of those projects? Probably because we really like to find the connection between past, present, and future. And after the experience with those digitalization, we decided, okay, we should create some space for promotional materials, for books, resources, OTF files, and all of those stuff and stories behind those projects. So of course we can put them on MyFonts or something, but we decided to create the dedicated site when you can explore the heritage of Polish typography.
So basically, together with Michał Jarociński, we came up with an idea of creating an archive, creating a website with very academic approach, very clean one, user-friendly. Probably one of the most significant decisions that we've made back in the days was to make it in English as well, just to introduce the Polish heritage to the wider audience, and to make a tool available for scaling for the different other purposes. Here, as you can see, you have a group of lovely people responsible for these projects. Two fathers, Mateusz Machalski and Michał Jarociński. Andrzej Tomaszewski, he was our historic editor. Adam Twardoch, acting as Adam Twardoch. Shout out to Adam, he's over here. Myself and Borys.
So, Typoteka. Now we've introduced you to where we were and why were we bringing it to you. So, how we started, we decided that Typoteka has to follow the keep it simple, stupid rule. We try to keep to the minimum the distractions, the flashiness of specimens available elsewhere, to try and make it as objective and as clean as possible. This was an early stage of the design. We started working black and white from the bat, and so I'll show you how the final product looks like, what the final product looks like. It's working, yes. So when you go to the Typoteka website, you're taken to the landing page, and you will see the entire collection available in the archive, or around 400 typefaces, which completely shocked us. You will see different historical periods and all typefaces, and with the red toolbar you can select specific period and jump straight to it. So, fairly straightforward. Then you can also use the search bar. So far our search engine allows to search by name of the typeface or a part of the name or the name of the author. Then you'll get to a filtered view, which will show you the selected and available typefaces for that search. And if you click on any of the typefaces here or in the main overall view, you will be taken to a detailed view, which consists of the as good quality specimen image as we could get, basic information, date, author, place of origin, etc., and the related typefaces, digital versions or other versions of the typeface, and other typefaces of the same designer.
So one of the first major challenge that we had was actually to establish what is a Polish typeface. As you can know, Poland has a little bit difficult history with non-existing for an extensive period of time. So what is it? What's a Polish typeface? We came up with a statement that creators connected with Poland doesn't really equate to a Polish typeface. And after all, we've decided to include in our archive all of the typefaces cast, cut, drawn, or published by people born in Poland, but also those who arrived in the Polish territory. So apart from the Poles, we have, for example, Germans, Jews, Dutch, Ukraine, and Czech citizens.
As Boris said, we really like to follow the KISS rule, so even in the layout we try to focus as much as we can on black and white letters. So basically we didn't want to make another MyFonts or Monotype full of colorful banners or something. We really like to create very simple layout with a lot of black and white characters. And also we decided together to limit the information to name of the typeface, author, date of creation, place of creation, publisher, technology, banner, and also do we have a digital version, because we've got many emails from students, for example, who's looking for graduation projects idea or something, and they really like to know that which typeface don't get the digital version. So there's, of course, information. Also, the totally basic reason when we start with Michał thinking about Typoteka, we'd like to create kind of type tester and all of those stuff that you can find on bigger marketplaces, but many of contemporary typefaces are commercial. So, for example, the price of licenses will kill us, so we decided to work only with one banner representing the typeface, and then you've got get a lot of links when you can find out more information about each typeface. And probably the most challenging thing during this whole process was splitting the periods, because when we start with our history editor Andrzej Tomaszewski, who is kind of link between graphic design community and academics, we find out it's really hard to find really good idea of splitting those periods, because the historic periods doesn't fit into the changing of technologies in typography. Also, the art periods doesn't fit with typography. So finally, we decided together with friend of Andrzej to create our own categories, including, for example, in Kunabula period, or from 2016 to 2018 variable fonts and screen typography. We're still thinking how we can call current period. So if you've got some ideas, feel free to email us. Also, because we like to make interesting thing for other people outside from Poland, we decided to add those introduction text before each period, because we really like to create some context about politics, about political history or political situation in Poland, because sometimes, for example, you can see a lot of Hebrew typeface or Cyrillic typeface, so this context is very helpful to understand what was happened during this time.
Apart from this historical classification, the typefaces are also classified on the advancement of the stage of the project, or the kind of the project that they were. So metal or wood type, finished projects, transfer projects, or fonts. That allows to distinguish, for if someone, for instance, would like to start a digitization project, where to look for original materials and what to possibly include in a proposal, or if maybe something was already digitized and it is a digital version. For the modern typefaces, we needed to somehow limit the selection properties. So how to qualify a typeface to be a part of the Typoteka archive. Initially, we wanted to go as broad as possible, same as the coverage of the historical period. However, we decided that with, for instance, student works, we need to be a little bit specific, not to have, like, you know, projects that are only started and not really finished. So we decided to have these three main qualification aspects. The projects in Typoteka are supposed to be published. They're supposed to consist of at least the AZ and upper and lowercase characters, and as mentioned earlier, are created by authors connected with Poland.
Probably this is a good place to show you a little bit of our archive and some quirks that we found along the way. So here you have a few historical ones, starting with the very first Polish typeface created ever. This is made by Kasper Straube in the 15th century, which was earlier than we thought originally. You have this lovely Renaissance italic by Hieronim Vietor. This slide and a few next one are dedicated to Samuel Orgelbrand. He was a very interesting guy back at the time, because he decided to make the very first Polish encyclopedia. And for the purpose of this encyclopedia, he established a punch cutting studio and a type foundry to be basically self-sufficient. So he made a few Arabic scripts. This is just one example. He made, for example, this Aver Cyrillic. Probably one of the most interesting one is the Kalmyk script. Originally, when we've discovered the scans, the original source, we thought it was supposed to be horizontal, but it is actually a vertical one. What more? You have a few very nice Hebrew cursives amongst a few very beautifully made Hebrew scripts. This is just a few of the examples. I think that altogether he made probably around 20 or 30 different scripts. The next one is interesting because of the technology. This is actually an etching made on the copper plates. And as you've seen the categories, we've decided to include it as well in our archive because it actually consists of all of the AZ set. The next one is interesting because of the background history that it has. It's a wood type made by Wacław Bulzacki while he was held prisoners in the officers' prison camp in Nazi Germany. He made that one especially for the purpose of printing a little booklet with poems describing the life of the fellow prisoners. And the next one, probably the only one that it's not fitting into our categories because it does not consist of all of the AZ set. But this is probably the most popular Polish logotype outside of Poland. This is Solidarity sign. And we felt like every time somebody in Poland uses this very visual language, it is instantly linking to this logotype. So we've decided to include it as well. And a few contemporary quirks. This one probably is known to everyone. This is obviously Lato made by Łukasz Dziedzic back at the days. Probably one of the most popular independently made font available on Google Fonts. Here, an interesting bitmap font, monospaced. It consists of like thousands of different characters. And the last one, this is a typeface. Oh,
it's too light.
Yeah, it's there. Believe me, that was a typeface made out of ash, so this is very fragile. So probably this is a good representation. But I'm sure you can see it outside or on the website. Yeah.
Yeah, so as you can see, there is a lot of interesting typefaces on Typoteka, and we think it's definitely worth a visit this portal. Later, when we finished the first stage of the project, we decided to organize, like always, grand launch party. Unfortunately, our president was really busy. The National Bank was closed, and unfortunately, it was COVID era. So we decided to organize this launch party at Adam Twardoch house. So as you can see, the Typoteka team sitting on Adam's couch.
I was online.
And Borys was online, but the fun fact was that during this launch online party, we saw how many people was interested in our project, because from the very beginning we thought we are creating Typoteka only for graphic designers or type designers, but finally we saw how many people from different academic specialization attend to this kind of event, ask questions, and say they really appreciate what we did.
So what's next for Typoteka? We have some ideas. One of those include an interactive typographic map of Poland, which could include academic centers or letterpress workshops, maybe even showcase typefaces available from the archive, link to them, be as interactive as possible for travelers to see if they can see something interesting along their way. Maybe adding very accurate bibliography for the typefaces. That could be great from my perspective as an academic to, be able to really reference sources in different archives and libraries. That could be amazing. But for now, we started with Typoteka exhibition. Sorry, one more thing. As we said, the digitization projects for the future is another thing that we are hoping to achieve with Typoteka. We're already getting information of Typoteka being referenced in master's projects, in dissertations, and hopefully it can be a good starting point for digitizations, as we mentioned. But for now, as I said, one more slide. I'm really sorry. Shame. So yes, please come and visit the website. We are very open to sharing and talking more about the process and about the way we approached it. Hopefully, that can be a framework that can be adopted elsewhere as well. Yes, reach out to us. You can get our emails here if you want to. And yes, I'm going to talk about the exhibition. Don't worry. The exhibition. So, Typoteka exhibition was first created to be showcased at my alma mater, the University of Reading, which was a very lovely place to be hosted with the prints. It's split into two parts. Old historical part and the modern contemporary specimens. The second visit, which just happened recently in February, from November to February, was in the HMCT, the Art Center College in Pasadena in Los Angeles, near to Los Angeles. And yes, that's it. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to us. We'd like to specifically thank our partners in. We'd like to thank our partners in, and especially to the Institut Polonais of Paris. And yeah, if you have any questions or do you want to have a chat with us, we'll be hanging around and giving tours around the exhibition as well.
Right.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, everybody, for attending. These three lovely people are available for your questions. The exhibition is down there. Coffee and tea break is down there. And we see each other in half an hour, a little less than half an hour, for the continuation of the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you.